We're only going to do number 1 through 5 on this page. So we're not going to do number 6, and we're actually not going to go do any of the second page here. All right, so number 1, I want to know, state if these triangles are similar. Now, we kind of talked about this, but there's 3 theorems that can work for this. There's AA, which means they have 2 sets of congruent angles. There's side, 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 meaning all 3 sides are proportional. Or there's side, angle, side, meaning 2 sides and the angle between them. So those are the 3 patterns that we're going to be looking for. So if we look at number 1, let's look at this picture. And what do we see in this picture? Do we have 2 sets of angles marked off? No. So we're not going to do that. We do have a set of vertical angles right there in the middle. So that's good. That gives us this middle angle. But now we need to compare sides. So let's look at this. This side over this side, or 16 over 30, needs to be equal to the ratio of this side over this side, or 16 over 40. Now, how do I check if those 2 things are equal? Well, there's 2 methods we could use. I'm going to go ahead and do the easy one. We're just going to divide. Take your calculator and do 16 divided by 30. Well, that gives me 0.53. Then do 16 divided by 40, which gives me 0.4. Since these 2 things are not equal, these 2 triangles are not similar. All right, let's look at number 2. For number 2, we need to check all 3 sides are proportional. Notice how there's no angles in this picture marked off. So we know we can't use either of these because we don't have any angles. So we're going to have to check all 3 sides. So let's look at the longest side. If we look at this picture, this is the longest, this is the longest. So let's set up a proportion of 84 over 14. Then let's look for the shortest. Here's the shortest, here's the shortest. So let's set up, oh dear, those are hard to read. We'll go with that. And then whatever's left is the third side. So 72 over 12. And like I said, the way to check this is to simply divide them out. So we're going to do 84 divided by 14, and that gave me 6. 49 divided by 8 gives me 6.125. And 72 divided by 12 equals 6. So my guess is whatever this number is right here, I got it wrong. It maybe isn't 49. It's probably 48. So let's just fix this as to 48. Which would then make this 6. So now, does 6 equal 6 equal 6? Yes. So these 2 triangles are similar. And what we're going to do is finish the congruent statement. So here I said CBA. So I went around the triangle from C, along the short side to B, up this side to A. So I'm going to start here, go along the short side, go up this long side. So that is FGH. And that was by the side, side, side theorem. All right, let's look at number 3. So in number 3, we do have a set of angles. Right here in the middle, we have some vertical angles. So that tells us we can use one of these 2. Now, I see only sides measured, so I think we're going to have to go with side, angle, side. So, long side, so that's 49 over 14. Short side is 28 over 8. use a calculator and just divide those. Do 49 divided by 14, and that gives me 3.5. 28 divided by 8 gives me 3.5. So those changed by the same rate. So yes, these are similar. So I started at V, I went out to U, and then up to T. So I'm going to start at V, I'm going to go out to L and up to M. So here's our similarity statement, and that was by the side angle side theorem. All right, number 4. Number 4 is a little bit easier. Here we have two angles that have the same one curved marking, and here we have two angles that have the same two curved line marking, which tells us that this is the angle-angle theorem. We have two sets of angles. So looking at this triangle, we started at J, we went to K from L. So we started at blue, went to pink, went out to the unlabeled one. So that means we're going to start at blue, go out to pink, and then the unlabeled one. All right, so then down here, I'm going to be honest, this one's a little bit tricky. Right here, I do have a set of vertical angles, but you're going to have to look a little bit carefully. If you notice, this has 1 mark, this has 2 marks, this has 3 marks. That means that none of those other angles are actually congruent to each other. So these are not similar.